idea. Hello, Eric and Nate. Okay, well, all right.
Yo.
Boy.
Good evening, America.
Hello, folks. We're here examining tonight a beer that was introduced in America in 1981, and it's called George Killian's Irish Red. And we have a lot of people with us. We have possibly from the West Coast, Eric Anderson joining us. And we have Tanya, who's probably going to join us too. She said she wanted to. But it's only 4:30 over there, but she did want to. We have Paul coming from Texas, I suppose. He said he was. He might have had trouble finding the beer. I had a little trouble finding the beer. We'll get to that in a minute. We have, also from the West, we have Beer Cub and Michelle Stitches. We have from the South, myself, Louisiana Beer Reviews, Brandon Burrell, and the Brister. And also from the South, the Gulf coastal state of Alabama. Then from the North, we have John, Sharon, and Charles. From Indiana, we have Patrick from Pennsylvania, and we have Eric and Nate from Massachusetts.
Hello, everybody.
So we're covering the West, the South, and the North. All right, now, but this beer doesn't come from any of those areas. This beer originated in Ireland. Ireland, yes. And back in 1864, when Ireland was part of the United Kingdom, and this was a small company, and it was in heavy competition against other ale companies, and it faltered. And by the 1920s, it was on the skids, and that was a lot of smoke. And it went it went bankrupt, and ooh, look at all that smoke. And it got bought out by a French company called Pelforth. So now the beer is an Irish beer, and it's brewed in France. Okay, and Pelforth has been acquired by Heineken, so Pelforth is called Heineken France today. Somehow in 1981, Coors and the Lett family was the descendants of George Killian, and they had an interest some kind of way as the founders, and they agreed to make a deal with Coors where Coors would brew the beer in America under license from Pelforth. And it says that clearly on the bottle. So now it's under license from Heineken. So, John, you've been doing this for a long time. You remember when this beer came out?
Yes, I do. I remember when it first came out. That came out about the time that the rest of the big old red beers come out, like Red Dog and the rest of that stuff.
Well, this was 81 now. This was 81.
I thought it come out after that.
No, 81. Red Dog was 94, and you're thinking of Red Wolf. Remember that one?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Red Wolf. Yeah, okay, yeah.
That was around 93. But
that didn't last about 2 years, and it was gone.
Yeah, and it was good, though. Now, when Killian's Irish Red first came out in 81, it was kind of considered up there as like a craft beer, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. I can believe that. I mean, there wasn't that much. I mean, craft beer was only getting started in full force back then.
Yeah, so it was kind of respected. Now it's denigrated, but it's brewed as a lager in America. Yep. Anybody want to give us the ABV on it?
5.4, I believe. 5.4%. Yeah, 5.4.
Hey, that's weird too, because I have some older Coors literature, and it was rated at 4.9. Now it's 5.4. Who looked at my picture on Facebook of the Pelforth version of it? That's called George Killian's Beer Rosé.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Did you notice what the ABV on it was? 6.5.
I thought this was 6%.
It's not bad.
The Molson Coors website labels this beer at 4.9%. So it's got to be a little bit different depending on where you are in the world, I guess.
Yeah. That Molson Coors website, I don't think they've been updating their info, Eric.
Well, there you go.
I think they got a lot of they just kind of letting that website ride, because if you look on the Miller Coors website,
yep,
and on the Killian's homepage, the actual website for George Killian's, it's rated at 5.4.
That's right. Yeah.
They used to make a Killian Stout, but it's no longer made.
They
only made that for about 6 years. Huh?
Not last that long at all.
It was really a strong stout.
Huh.
It wasn't high ABV, but the flavor was really strong and heavily roasted, and I think that turned some people away. It didn't bother me.
Interesting.
Okay, now let's get to the Killians. Here's an older label. They changed the labels about every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all notice?
Still on it. Every chance.
If y'all notice, Coors loves to change their labels. Here's one. Can you see this?
Yes.
Is that bottle from the 90s?
Yeah, I would say 96.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Then they changed it to a brown look around 2000.
There's a label behind
Is that up, Jay? I couldn't see.
Killian's Irish Red Ale. Is it
Yeah.
actually ale on the bottom?
No, and the oldest literature I have is calling it a lager. Now, I've heard some talk where people say it was originally sold as an ale, but I've never seen anything to verify that. But I'm not saying they're wrong. I just haven't seen any verification of it.
That's only what I've heard.
Now, here we got Tanya join us. I predicted Tanya would join us.
Hey,
Hi.
Tanya.
I brought
Hi.
my BFF with me today.
Yellow.
Hi, what's up?
Well, we got a whole big party of people over here now. All right. Introduce your friend to us.
This is Rachel.
Hi.
Rachel, this is everybody.
Hi, Rachel.
We're sure glad to meet you. All right, now, I want to show y'all something that I'm going to put in the fridge. Here's a red ale from Heineken, who also owns Killian's, by the way, and this is called
Red ale.
and I am going to put that in the fridge because I would like to examine it. We can't do it on a Wednesday night because I don't think anybody's going to be able to get it, but
Jay, I saw that beer up in New York. This is going back years ago, around 1998, 99, when I lived in New Jersey, and I would, go into the city. I remember seeing that beer, and those beers don't exist anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, Murphy's Red Ale is so rare, man. I mean, that's a fine little beer. But let's concentrate. Excuse me.
Hello, Jay.
Hello, Mom. Now let's concentrate. Let's concentrate on George Killian's Irish Red. Now, it's a red lager, and if you read their literature, they say, why is it red? Not because of food coloring. It's red because of what? Anybody want to?
Malting. The roasting of the malts.
Correct. They roast the malts, and it causes it to be red.
One neighbor that you actually like.
Now, let's go from west to east. I don't know why I'm always want to go west to east, even though the sun goes east to west. But Tanya and Rachel, tell us about your experience with George Killian's Irish Red and what your assessment of it is.
I haven't had it in a long time, so I am reacquainting myself with it right now.
Yeah.
I did not know that it was actually categorized as a lager, so I have the style guide open to Irish Red Ale category. So is it actually lagered, or is it lager malts, lager yeast that's doing this? What makes it a lager versus a red ale?
Oh, it's lagered all the way. In America, it's bottom fermented, and it's done just in the lager way. And I don't know why Coors chose to do it as a lager. Maybe because in 1981 all their facilities and their equipment was geared toward that, and they figured it would just be easier to make a red lager.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention that they probably figured American taste buds would be more amenable to lager in 1981.
Right.
I thought I remember this being called an ale back in the 90s, though.
No,
Is
no, I got. I'm looking at these old bottles, and here's the bottle right here. It says George Killian's Irish Red Lager.
Huh.
But
Your bottle says that?
yeah, it
Oh,
says
yeah,
this.
look, there it is.
It says this unique hot Irish lager brand is carefully brewed using only the choice of natural ingredients, including our special slow-roasted caramel malt. Also,
Mine only says it in tiny, tiny little writing on the side where it says lager. Otherwise, I don't think I would have. Have even seen that.
Yeah.
It says, mine says the same thing, lager, and then it says ale in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Now, also, it's certified kosher, and if you notice, every beer produced by Coors, that's right, is certified kosher for whatever reason. But I had a person that used to live in Denver explain to me why that was, but or why they thought it was, because they said a lot of Jews lived in Denver. All right. Well, that makes sense, right? You want to appeal to the audience.
Yeah, it's true. True. I don't know. I guess somewhere there's a joke in that, but never mind. Moving on.
Yeah, don't get yourself kicked off the thing. Hey, but they're talking about on this bottle George Killian let the recent guy, he died 5 years ago. That was the guy that they kept featuring on their commercials and stuff. He was a pretty old guy. He did pass away. But it's not really the Killian family, it's the Lett family that has the interest in it.
I always thought that the George Killian name was just like a made-up thing, and it being Irish. I always just thought it was a branding thing.
Yeah, like a marketing thing like Bartles and James.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a real man who started a real brewery, who really went out of business, and was bought by Pelforth. So yeah, it's a real thing. The whole thing is real, except that it's brewed as a lager here, and it's brewed as a red. Well, you know, I was looking at the Pelforth stuff. It doesn't say ale, it just says red beer, but I presume it's 6.5%. Okay, now, any more?
John, what are you doing?
Who knows?
Have another.
Now, Tanya and Rachel, what is your assessment of the quality of the beer? And then we're going to go to Wyoming.
All right, Rachel, what do you think?
I'm just messing around with my daughter. I'm sorry. I'm just messing around with my daughter, so.
I think it's drinkable. I have to say that my opinion of it goes up a little bit now that I know it's a lager, because I really just don't get behind lagers, but I find this pretty darn drinkable. So, yeah.
Okay, don't you find it has sort of a tannic quality, like from those red malts?
A little bit, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of dry in that respect. And I think it's totally different than what I would expect from a lager, because lager to me is like corn, like canned corn, sweet all the time, and this just doesn't taste like that at all. So.
But it does have corn in it now. It has corn syrup, believe it or not.
Yes.
Now, okay, so you're okay. We'll get back to the final analysis in a little bit. Now we'll go to Wyoming. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I agree with what Tanya said. And I don't like lagers, but I actually kind of like this, and I like how crisp and dry it is. So I'm really surprised. I was like her. I wasn't thinking of it as a lager, and I took a sip and said, well, this isn't too bad. And then you said it was a lager, and I went, no! Because I don't usually like lagers, but yeah.
You know, the lager class is so huge. I mean, you can drink something like Old Milwaukee Light and say, it's so bland. Or you can also drink something like Santa Claus Classic Doppelbock at 14% alcohol, and you will make somebody think that it is a brandy. You know, they might actually think it's brandy, and that's still a lager. So
I guess I should clarify. I don't like traditional American lagers, because Doppelbocks and things like that I do. But anyway, it surprised me in a good way. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't trying to show you up either.
Oh, no.
I want to share real quick the BJCP. And now I'm reading more, and it all makes sense now. It says in the BJCP style guidelines that it's sometimes brewed as a lager, and if so, it will generally not exhibit the same diacetyl character. And it says all throughout here, lager versions can be very smooth, etc. And so this is the Irish red ale category, accounting for the fact that a lot of them are made as a lager, and it says that Murphy's Irish Red is actually a lager as well.
Yeah. Murphy's Irish Red is a lager.
I got it in black and white. It's right here.
Interesting.
Looks like old Ronald's got some research to do coming up.
Damn.
I've had that Murphy's Irish, and I didn't think it tasted like a lager.
Yeah. Well.
Do you think this tastes like lager?
Do I know?
No.
Thank you, Brister.
Okay. Now,
I will say this beer has a lot of carbonation.
What do you think, Beer Cub? Oh, it is carbonated. Beer Cub?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I always get this very toasty, almost char flavor with it. And like you said, the tannic quality really comes through. It's not a beer I buy a lot. I have it from time to time. It's the kind that I would buy if it's on sale. It generally tends to be priced a little bit above the budget level. So unless I'm especially craving it, it's not something I seek out.
Yeah.
But it's fine for what it is. Yeah.
Kind of like a little bit of an upscale regular beer.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I don't know where Paul is, but I guess he's not coming. Now, over to Mississippi. Now, I'm not going to talk about it because you know what I think about it, but Brandon and then Jeff, y'all go together because y'all in Mississippi.
Well, I'm in Louisiana tonight, but
okay, I got how I feel played. Okay, now Mississippi. All right, go ahead. Then Brandon and then Jeff.
all right. Well, this beer, as far as what it is, I do get some of that. What I always call it almost that brown bread sort of flavor, slightly sweet, but not too sweet, but crisp. Very easy to drink. Something that I do enjoy getting on draft whenever it's available. For example, like I said, if I had a choice and Killian was there, you know what? I'm definitely down to get Killian's on draft. It's a really solid beer. I never had any issues with it.
Yeah, it's a great beer on draft. I used to get it at Yale College Inn in New Orleans, but they stopped carrying it on draft because they said not enough people ordered it. But yeah, on draft is fabulous. Okay, now Jeff in Mississippi.
All right. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to have like a session beer, but you want something with a little more taste, like a Bud Light or a Cool, I go with this beer. It's carbonated, but I think the carbonation comes after you swallow. Really, then mouthfeel it tastes like an ale, and when you swallow it, you kind of get the carbonation of a lager. But I like the slight sweet maltiness of it. It's a nice beer.
It's kind of a hybrid, huh?
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of weird like that.
Okay, now to Alabama. Oh, I'm sorry, what? You were bugging out a little bit.
It's kind of got the best of both worlds there.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Now to Alabama.
Well, for me, the beer, as everyone said, it has a little bit of, I like the color of it. As you could taste some of the caramel of it, and, it's okay. And like I said, it's very highly carbonated, and, it's an okay beer. I remember years ago they had this on tap. And a couple of, there's one restaurant I would go to after work. I would go and sit down and talk, and they had this on tap. It was, all right. I think to me personally, a beer like this, or even a Guinness, to me, I think they're better on tap than they are in a bottle. That's just me talking, I think you get more of it out of a tap than you do out of a bottle. So. Okay.
And any of y'all remember those little Killian's cans? They used to have the 12-ounce cans that were shaped like a barrel.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, I used to get. I remember seeing those. They used to have Killian's 12-packs, and it was little cans. It was 12 ounces, but it looked like a beer barrel. It was weird, But then I haven't seen Killian's Irish Red in a can in so long.
I've never seen it in a can.
It used to be there. I wish I'd have saved those cans. I'm so aggravated. Okay, now up to Indiana.
Charles, go ahead.
I've been hearing about Indiana in the news. Let me say that I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
Hey.
Not tonight. Not tonight, Jay. Not tonight. Not tonight.
I didn't vote for him. Anyway, this beer goes back to my early drinking days, where you could go to the Sports Time Pizza in New Albany, Indiana, and get a picture of it for $7. It's it's got a pretty light body to it. It's a little bready, got some roastiness to it. All in all, it's pretty light in body for my taste these days, but I also think it's good quality. It's got a good taste, and it's a gateway beer to better things.
But you wouldn't say that it's a crap beer.
Crap?
Crap. We used to have,
No, not at all.
some people might say it's a crap beer. John's laughing, but you don't say it's a crap beer.
No, by no means is this a. I hope you said crap beer.
Crap. C-R-A-P. Crap.
Not crap. Okay, craft. Is this a craft beer?
I asked the question. I said, John, I asked Charles, did you think it was a crap beer? C-R-A-P.
No, by no means is this a crap beer. I think this.
C-R-A-P.
I think this is an above average beer for what it is. I mean, if you take a look at the style and the beer for as long as it's been around, I don't think you can go wrong with this beer. If somebody wanted to transition over to a red, this would definitely be the beer that's going to transition over to and try it and move up. I think it's a very light on the mouthfeel, but overall, I mean, this beer's been around for a long time. I haven't drunk it. I looked a while ago, since 2012, so there's not much change since 2012. So it's a pretty consistent made beer, I think, and it's a very sessionable beer if you want to sit there and pound a bunch of them. So I think I give $1.19 each for these. I bought two, so it's an affordable beer for what it is.
So you think you could fool the session? You could session the fool out of a 12-pack?
Yeah. Not even on a hot day.
All right. Now we're going to go to Philadelphia because I have been to Philadelphia to both baseball stadiums, Veterans and Citizens Bank, and I had so much fun, and I would like to go back. But anyway, that's irrelevant to the point.
You're going to be able to get a lot of tickets this year. The Phillies are going to stink.
Right, although I do have 3 different Phillies caps in my cap collection I could add. But anyway, now, Patrick, what do you think about George Killian's Irish Red Beer?
George Killian is a beer that I haven't really thought about in a long time. Used to see it around here all the time, and I remember years ago being in a lot of bars, but, I mean, lately I couldn't tell you the last time I saw this. I wasn't sure I was even going to be able to find it. And I happened to find it in a single bottle at a local place, and I was like kind of excited that I was able to not have to spend a 6-pack on a beer I wasn't going to sure I was going to remember liking. It didn't have any head when I poured it, hardly at all, but it's much better than I anticipated it being, or I remember it being, I should say.
So you drink it again?
I would. It's got I kind of, mine's really dry. It's like my mouth is like got cotton mouth feel already from it. That's how dry it is. But it's tasty though.
Yeah. Hey, y'all know this beer might be on the death watch.
It's not around here.
I went looking for it in my town. No one had it. No one.
Hey Jay, you didn't go to Walmart? I mean, that's where I got mine from. Well, I went to Mississippi, but even the local Walmart, where I'm at, and even a few like the Winn-Dixie's or whatever supermarkets I get here, they had it, but mostly on 6-packs. So.
Yeah. Now, Jean, I went to all those stores. No one had it.
Wow. I'm surprised.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I got really concerned. I was like really concerned. So I went to a place in Hammond, Louisiana called the Red, White, and Brew, and they had singles of it. They had a bunch of 6-packs, a bunch of it, and singles. So I bought a single, and that's where I bought the Murphy's Irish Red. In fact, the Red, White, and Brew is the only place I know of in the whole southeastern Louisiana area that has Murphy's Irish Red. So I think Killian's could be the kind of beer where you could turn around tomorrow and it's gone. That's just my feeling about it. Now, I want to go to New England, literally and figuratively. I went to New England 2 years ago to see the Red Sox, and I had so much fun. even though I almost missed the first pitch, but I did make it. Not to mention I got a ticket for $12 from the Red Sox website, so that's a message to the whole world. If you think you have to pay a lot to go to a Major League Baseball game, wrong. You do not. Get on it early.
Going to a baseball game is very economical. Very economical.
Unless you're buying beer.
Unless you're buying beer.
Absolutely, 100%.
But I never do that. I am not going to pay $9 for a pint of Busch beer. Sorry.
Amen.
And they probably won't give you much anyway. They probably won't give you much.
They'll give you a
That's
pint.
why I drink Guinness at the Irish pub at the Oakland A's ballpark, because I am not paying $8 for Coors Light or whatever. No.
That's insane. That's insane. Although, talking about the A's, that's on my to-do list for next year, 2016, because I went to the A's twice. In 2006, I went to 2 games, Friday night and Saturday afternoon. And I want to say this real fast. They had the best barbecued beef ribs I've ever had at their stadium. I was quite impressed.
In Oakland?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they have good food at the stadium in Oakland. If you go behind section 220 or so is the Irish pub, and they have this really great sandwich that they make. Oh my God, and great beer, by the way. Just saying.
That was a wonderful trip. What?
You need to come down here and watch our little minor league team where on certain nights you can get $1 PBR or Bud Lights and Budweisers.
They have the same thing here. $1 beer on Thursday nights at the Zephyr Field. And
Thirsty Thursdays, they call them.
I've seen groups of college people get totally out of hand at those games. Now, now back to New England. I'm sorry, because you start getting all we start commiserating or whatever. All right, now New England. Eric and Nate, what do y'all think about this George Killian's Irish Red?
Go for it, Eric.
All right. I like this beer. This is pretty good. I wouldn't have really thought about it until I looked on the internet and you mentioned it, Jimmy, that they're considering this a lager. I guess I kind of do get that crispness and that light kind of a body, and I can tell that it's got some of that, a little bit of that corn adjunct in that taste. It's not off-putting. And it does have that nice sort of like a light fruitiness in the roastiness to it, but it's just pretty nice and light and easygoing, and what I really like about it is the finish is incredibly smooth, and it's pretty dry, and it doesn't really stick around a lot, so you can put these things down without a problem. I would say high 80s, B+ range is where I would put this beer. I like it a lot.
I agree with that, Eric. I mean, this beer is so smooth.
Yeah, it is really
It has to be one of the smoothest mass-produced beers on the market, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't always like beers that smooth. Sometimes I want beers with a bite, but I want them to fight back. But this one does not. It is just mellow to the hilt. But people may not agree. But anyway, now, Nate.
Hey, so I remember this one actually from my college days, which weren't all that long ago, but still. I almost typed it, but I feel like they had parties where they would drink almost exclusively Bud Light and PBR. And then they would have parties where they would almost exclusively drink stuff like this. And I'm not going to say which was of higher repute or anything like that. We won't make any assumptions of it. This costs a little bit more than PBR, and usually at these ones they weren't pounding them back necessarily as much. So that was my first experience with it, but right now I'm revisiting it in more of an examination kind of way, and it almost like I'm thinking about like I'm drinking apple juice almost, except it's not as sweet. So it kind of like I like it for that reason. It's the fruity flavor. It's not particularly strong, but I don't like my juices very strong anyway. So.
Nate, I just wanted to say, when you said apple juice, I could taste that in the aftertaste, definitely, which I usually attribute to like I can't even think of the style right now. Box styles, like Spaten to me tastes like, oh no, that's grape juice. But anyway, similar. Where you get that kind of juicy flavor out of it, and I didn't even think about that until you said it.
Yeah, and I mean it's dry like everybody says, so it's almost like you mix the juice with a little bit of ginger ale.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like wine dry.
Minus the ginger flavor. I don't taste the ginger flavor at all in it.
Well, now, no, I don't get any ginger. Now,
No. Just the dryness from like I don't know.
let's say the price. Let's say now you brought up Pabst Blue Ribbon. Let's say the price was the same, and it isn't. We know it's not. But
A lot of people, they'll be buying it.
let's say the price was the same. Would you choose this or Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Absolutely this. Absolutely.
This.
PBR.
I have a hard time deciding, but maybe do Killian's. Maybe.
PBR.
That's a tough call. I'd probably go PBR though.
I have a severe marketing bias, so I would definitely go with this. Oh, I like the answer. Why not both? One of each.
Yeah. Why? What marketing bias against PBR? I'm just curious.
I don't know. It's marketed as a cheap end beer, and so
We don't like hipsters.
Come on now.
let's just say, and I think okay, so she and I go to the bar a lot. Does the bar even sell PBR?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah. I feel like PBR is really left to like the dirty, grimy sports bars, and so like,
hey, I like it.
That's not
hey,
true.
that's me. I'm there. I like PBR, so I'll admit that I'm that grimy guy. So.
Yeah, so to all you grimy people, like I like you via the internet, but that's not filtered. So
I wonder if that's a California thing, because like around here, PBR is the cheap beer of choice by hipsters and people who actually like beer.
Yep.
If they're going to do a cheap beer, they'll do PBR.
They sell PBR in Louisville at your real higher end restaurants.
Huh.
I feel like PBR is getting a cult following, like really bad movies get a cult following.
Rocky Horror Picture Show of beers.
It's not like Biodome.
But it doesn't make it good. And so if I ever, so all my experiences with PBR, I was like, okay, well, this is beer. It has alcohol. If I drink enough, I'll get drunk. Like, I'm not going to complain. Somebody needs to talk to me. When it comes down to a decision on whether or not I'm going to buy it, I'm probably not going to buy it unless I'm faced with like Coors Light, Bud Light, PBR. Then that's, I don't know. Maybe I would.
There's a bar in Philadelphia that sells 80
So wait a minute, hold on,
mugs.
time out. So, Tanya, you're telling me you would pick Killian's Irish Red over Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too, really, frankly. But although I've had many good experiences with Pabst Blue Ribbon too, I have to bring that into it, especially in 1999 in Denver. But
what happened? No, I don't want to know what happened in Denver. Leave that in Denver.
it's a nice story, and it's a good story.
Oh, all right.
And it's not a story I'm embarrassed to tell. I went to Denver on a trip because I wanted to go to all the western states. So I was in Denver, and I did tour the city, and I was very interested in it. I got to visit Mile High Stadium. And then I got back to where the bus was, and it wasn't leaving for a good while because I bought this bus pass where you could drive anywhere, and it was for pay one price and get unlimited travel for over a week. So I said, well, I'm thirsty, and I went to this really dive bar like Tanya's talking about, grimy. It's where all the bums hung out. It was about 2 blocks from the bus station, but I went in there, and they have Pabst Blue Ribbon in these imperial pints, not the little 16-ounce pints. I mean the big boy pints for $1 a pint draft. I said, oh yeah. So I got one pint.
That's attractive.
That's right. I got one
$1
pint.
a pint, I would be drinking it.
$1. I got one pint and I drank it. Oh, it tasted so good. I was so thirsty and it was on draft. And so I said, well, let me have another. So I drank 2. So it was $2. And, I mean, it was kind of a shady area. You know, I'm thinking, well, these guys are probably nice. I mean, to some extent. So, but I drank. I didn't, mess with anybody. They didn't mess with me. I drank my 2 paps, and then I walked back to that bus station, and I was like, wow, this stuff. I was like, those glasses were big, but for $2, it was a really terrific.
80 cents.
80 cents?
I'd be
You
pounding
see
it
me
back.
looking up close because I don't believe that. That's less than 80 cents?
That was in 1999. All right, now, okay, final assessment. Because we don't want to go on forever, final assessment in California. What is your general opinion of George Killian's Irish Red? Would you say it's good, average, or poor? Let's choose one of those 3 adjectives: good, average, or poor.
I think it's average. I really like red ale, and I don't really like this, so I think it's average. It's drinkable. If somebody gave it to me, I wouldn't complain. Rachel?
Yeah, same thing. It's average. I drink it, but I wouldn't buy it.
That's fair. Wyoming beer cup. Now Michelle, she took care of hers, so she.
I think we know what she thinks.
I was thirsty. I was very thirsty.
What do y'all think about this beer?
I think if I was comparing it to other red ales, I would say average. If I'm comparing it to my experience with like traditional American lagers, I would choose it in a heartbeat over the vast majority of those. So I think it's very drinkable. Anything that's crisp like that and you chill it can be very refreshing, and I didn't get a lot of that skanky whatever it is I get when I drink a lot of American lagers. So I like it. I'll give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, good assessment.
Yeah,
Yes,
I would say
good, average, or poor. Obviously, say average.
Average to good.
Okay, high average. Okay.
yeah, I'm in the same range. I'm in the above average on it. It's a good beer. Not a great beer, but a good beer.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's I'm gonna say it's good. I think it is a good beer. It's not great. It's not the greatest thing, but I like it. I don't I don't sit there waking up at night saying, oh, I'm craving Killian's, but I do like it. I do think they take care with it. It's not something that's just slung together. Okay, I think it's good. Right now, Brandon.
Like I said, I've always been a fan of this beer, so I rank it as good. It does take me back to when I started drinking beer. This is one of the first beers I drank out of I don't know how many, but over time, mind you. It was one of the first. I always liked it a lot. It's still really good. And 1 Killian's goes good with 2 more. So there you go.
So it's a beer to have if you're drinking more than 1.
I agree. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, Jeff, first or
I like it a lot. That I had, I wish I had some more, but I don't. So I could easily see killing a 6-pack or a 12-pack of this in one night. I would enjoy that very much.
So you're calling it good?
Good, thumbs up. A+. Well, not A+, but smiling face.
Yeah, we got
a smiling face. How about that?
That sounds fair. Now, John.
Well, it's a kind of beer, you can have, it's not an everyday beer. It's a kind of beer you can have, you get off work, it's been a long work week, you're ready to, chill, you stop at a supermarket or whatever package store, you pick this up, you sit down with your significant other or that one neighbor or that a few neighbors that you actually like and talk to, and you can share this beer with. It's a pretty decent beer. And, would I buy it every day? No. But, I'd probably be one of those, Friday evenings sitting out on the front porch, just, talking BS with people about whatever and, so.
So you calling it good?
Yes, I give it a good B. Yeah.
Okay. I put those 3 categories so that we don't get into all the, this plus minus. I wanted to make it simple, good, average, or poor. You know. All right, now up to Indiana.
Check your way. I think it's an average, maybe a little bit above average beer. Not to go negatives and positives on you like that, but I did. It's a good drinker. It's not something I'm going to go out and buy every day, but I'll buy it probably again. Just like Tanya said, if I'm out somewhere and somebody's got it, I'm not going to turn it down. I'll probably pick this up before I'll pick up a Bud Light or something like that.
Okay.
So off to me now. So I think this is a very good beer. It's an average beer, right in the middle of the road beer. I'm going to disagree a little bit maybe with Chuck and Tony, and I apologize, because if somebody offered me a Bud Light or a Killian's or a PBR, I'd probably take those two over this. But overall, I think this is a pretty good beer. It's not a style that I like. It's not a taste that I like. But I mean, for what it is, it's a good beer.
You're saying it's good, but with reservations.
Yes.
I hate you now.
Oh,
Yeah, you disagree. You know, you can't be friends.
Yeah.
Oh no!
We're gonna block each other now.
Where's the honesty?
Notice I'm not talking to him anymore.
Brandon.
All right, the next person.
Oh, yep, there you go.
All right, let's see. Patrick, what is your final assessment? Good, medium, good, average, or poor?
I think it's a good beer. It's definitely a surprising. I wish I had bought more than just the one that I have. I would buy it again. I don't know if I would buy it all the time, but it's better than I remembered it being, and I would drink it again.
Gotcha. Okay, so good. All right, now Nate and Eric in Massachusetts.
I'm going to stick with that assessment I gave it a little bit earlier. I'm thinking in that range of above average to good. It's again, I think everybody else is saying it, and it's just not something that I would reach for all the time. I think I would rather have something like a PBR or even something more like Guinness. Something a little. I mean, this is pretty dry. Don't get me wrong, but it does have a little bit of sweetness. But I think I'd like something a little bit drier, just for an all-day type of a drink. I think this would be pretty good if I went to like a pizza place or something and they had Killian's on tap. I think that would go amazingly well with some pizza or some Philly cheesesteak. So I like it.
That's a pretty good combination, Eric. That's a very good combination.
I think some of that maltiness would be and that fruitiness would be really nice with food.
I agree with that. Okay, you nailed that one. Now, Nate, you're gonna close it out for us.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I think it's just the nostalgia that gets me about it, because I mean, we had rehearsals also where I wasn't a part of it exactly, but this was the drink of choice for rehearsals, also that went along with it. So, but yeah, I think that's about it. It's not something that I've even seen until recently. I mean, I think I told you, Jay, a while back that I saw it had disappeared from the shelves around here, and then all of a sudden, randomly, without any warning, just reappeared on the shelf. We have it again, but kind
of sound like most beers.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if this beer was deleted. I don't think it's hugely popular. You never see an advertisement on TV for it.
No, the pulse is slowing definitely. But is it a good beer? Yeah, sure. Why not? Like I said, I tried. This will sound bad. I tried Pabst Blue Ribbon last weekend, and I would definitely pick this over that.
Okay. So.
Pabst is so much hoppier, and this is really so smooth, I thought.
Yeah. Well, this has got more of a multi-flavor that I think that the Pabst doesn't have. As far as I can tell.
Yeah, the malts are really the big flavor of this beer for sure.
Patrick, I'm curious. You said PBR is hoppy. Is that what you said?
I find it to be. Versus most of the other, like, say, adjunct
In the same
lagers.
category of toppy.
He's talking about relative to other American adjunct lagers.
Correct.
I agree with him on that. Yeah.
To me, I don't get any hoppiness from the Killians. It was all sort of maltiness and sort of sweet
Yeah.
and smooth.
Well, that's exactly what we should be expecting out of a red ale, is all malt.
Yeah.
You're right, Brister. Schlitz, it's about, I would say, a lot more hoppier. Would you agree?
I think Schlitz is the hoppiest American style lager.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
I still can't find Schlitz.
Very good flavor. Very good flavor.
Hoppy, but relative to the other ones, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think Schlitz is the best tasting American style lager. If you want to be even more,
I'm going to have to go with the best American style lager. I'm going to have to go with the #1 craft brewery right now in the United States, and that's Yuengling.
oh man, oh man, we are really not going to be friends anymore.
Yuengling beat Sam Adams for the #1 craft brewery in the United States.
Because they got it to be where they can change.
That's a fake craft brewery.
They can change. They can
Sam
change.
Adams is a fake craft?
No,
They're
Yuengling.
anti-union scabs, so that's why I won't drink them either.
Listen, look, my thing with Yuengling is that, you know, they'll go to certain places with Yuengling and they'll sell it, but they're not out west where Beer Cub or where Tiny is, and that's a shame. Sam Adams is out there. You could get Sam Adams out there where you are, right, Tanya? Would you agree? You can get Sam Adams, and you can get and Beer Brister and Beer Cub and Mr. Beer Cub. You can get Sam Adams.
Let me tell you guys
Get
something
this
about
here. That's the shame. That's the shame of Yuengling. Even in Louisiana, you can't get Yuengling. That's what's crazy.
How do you spell Yuengling? Can somebody type it out for me?
Yuengling.
Yuengling. It means young person. Yuengling. It means
Where is
like
this coming from? Where is this name from?
Pottsville, PA, right outside of Philadelphia, as a matter of fact.
24 of it.
Okay. Thanks for showing me what it looks like. I'll watch for that, but I have never seen that.
It's become sort of trendy, and it used to be like a Natty Ice, like college beer years ago.
Okay.
That was
Are the
craft
hipsters
beer.
drinking it?
Oh yes.
Not
All right.
really so much hipsters, but
Only
The good Yuengling beers are the ones that aren't popular, like the Black and Tan and the Lord Chesterfield Ale, I think.
Like Mississippi Black and Tan?
Yeah, Yuengling Black and Tan. To me, that's a really good one, but hardly anybody drinks it.
Only three beers they sell here in this area: the lager, the Black and Tan, and the light. And slowly but surely, the light is starting to disappear. All you're getting is the lager and the Black and Tan.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, we don't want to get too caught up in that, but it is interesting. But anyway, talking about Coors, which is what we did tonight. Next week we have Batch 19 lined up, and I think Batch 19 could be quite an interesting.
I have that already.
So who would like to look at Batch 19 next week?
I'm finding that I've had it before, and I've found it before in New England. I'm finding it a little difficult to find right now, but I'm going to try.
You're doggone right, it's hard to find. Now, I did find it. I found it.
$40 a case.
Ditto.
I'm good for it. I can find it somewhere around here.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a challenge. That's a beer that definitely might disappear next week.
Yeah, it's readily available out here, but we may not be here next week because we got.
It's a very good beer, a very good, very well made beer, and I can definitely get that. So.
Now, Nate, you said you can't join us next week?
What did you say?
Are you going to be able to join us next week, Nate?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be here.
Okay, no, Nate.
Oh, sorry.
Nate froze up. All right, now.
Next week. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to join you next week.
Okay, so you can get to Batch 19.
Well, if I can find it.
Okay.
I'm with Eric on that.
April 8th, we have Batch 19, and then on the 15th, I'm just going to give you all a heads up what I have planned, okay? And if y'all think it's a good or a bad idea. And then we'll shut this off because we're going on so long. Batch 19, April 15th is Bass, pale ale from, originated in England.
Maybe I can do that.
April 22nd is Beck's, originated in Germany.
Beck's.
I can get that.
Can do that.
April 29th is Kirin Ichiban, originated in Japan. How does that lineup sound?
Sounds good.
All right, well, thanks, folks. Y'all have... Thanks, folks, and y'all join us next week when we look at batch 19 from Coors as well.
Drink
Congratulations.
some wicked lagers.
Congratulations to Kentucky. Congratulations to Kentucky, the national champions of college basketball.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know.
Oh,